I reminisce about the love we had. I reminisce about the love we had. Tender moments seem to go so fast. Reminisce, reminisce. I reminisce about the love we had. I reminisce about the love we had. A love so strong it will never pass.
Love Park Connection.
Hey, everybody. How you guys doing today?
How you guys doing?
So, it's been a minute since we actually posted. A couple weeks, huh?
It's been a couple
I mean,
weeks.
I've posted, but it's been a couple weeks since we've been on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because somebody was out just, jet setting across the world.
Oh, I was in Portugal.
That's across the world.
So, and that's what I wanted to talk about today.
Uh-huh.
The trip, the scouting,
Uh-huh.
just all the emotions that went into it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And just kind of talk about it and open it up for discussion.
Oh, okay. Okay. But before we do that,
What? Let us introduce ourselves. Welcome to Love Park Connection, where we talk about the pains and pleasures of life, love, and relationships. My name is Angela Parker.
and I'm Pierre Parker.
We are a husband and wife marriage and relationship coaching duo. We have been married for 28 years, together for over 30 years.
Yeah.
And it's our goal to help Black couples communicate more, love more, and build healthy long-term relationships and marriages.
Mm-hmm.
I am still tired. So this might not be a long one.
She's still jet
I'm
lagged.
still jet lagged.
And she
But
came home 2 days ago.
2 days ago. Exactly. And I'm still on Portugal time. But
Mm-hmm.
to start it off,
Yes.
how was it when I was gone, baby? Was you
This
missing
ain't about me. This
Was
about
you
you.
was you missing me?
Yeah, I was missing you. And I was really missing you dealing with our damn four-legged children.
See.
It's just
He was a single parent for a while.
yes,
For
I
10
was.
days, he was a single parent.
Oh, they was driving me stone crazy. I had more of appreciation for what you do with them. Oh, actually, no. Actually, it made me mad.
Why?
Because you spoiled them to death. So then they looking at me like, okay, we normally get 4 to 5 meals a day.
That's not true. No, they don't. No, they
And
don't.
so when it came to me,
No, they
I had them in survival mode. It's like, y'all get one meal. One meal and maybe a snack.
No, I don't feed them
Look.
4 or 5 times a day. I do not. I feed them. I've cut it down to 2 times a day because it was getting too expensive to keep replenishing their food. But that's not what we're here to talk about.
Oh,
That was
now
part of
that's-
it.
now
That was
that's
part.
right.
No, that was part of it because it's important.
Uh-huh.
With this whole transition and transformation that at some point is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That we have to have open discussion, and this is
Open
also
discussion.
good. This is also good because you might have other couples out there
Mm-hmm.
who are going to have to live live long distance or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think this is kind of a good topic to walk through, and folks get to see how we're handling it, adjusting to it, maybe not adjusting to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, so we're going to start here.
Yeah.
So I went to Portugal, was gone for 10 days, and it
Mhm.
was for a scouting trip
Mm-hmm.
for us to potentially live in Portugal. It was an interesting experience. I started out, it was me and my sister and a friend of ours, and we started in the Algarve, which is a beautiful place, very laid back,
Mhm.
very tranquil. It was just so soothing and so peaceful. I
Mhm.
mean, it was amazing.
Mhm.
And I've been told that the Algarve was basically a beach town, which we're kind of familiar with living in California. We got a lot of beach towns. Santa Cruz is our closest one to us,
Mhm.
and it is very laid back. But during the summer, that's when like it was in the Algarve because we were in Faro, and then we visited a couple other Lagos and one other town that I can't pronounce, so I'm not going to slaughter the name. But we were able to, well, during the summer, like most beach towns, it's crowded. People are out for the summer, taking holiday, taking vacation. And so it was beautiful. The weather was beautiful. And June is sardine month in Portugal.
She loves sardines. Y'all
I
help me.
know.
Help
I know.
me.
I
You
know.
brought some of the things
I
home.
did. I brought 5 cans home. But so they have a whole store. It's sardines and other fish. But anyway,
How you have a sardine month? What's wrong with no?
Don't say that. Anyway, so it was, just the whole ambiance, like I said, is very peaceful. But being a beach town, from what I've been told, that after the summer months, it gets really just dead. There's not a lot to do. So I was like, okay, but I wanted to see the Algarve because I heard it was, the California of Portugal. So I was like, hey, let's do that. But it was beautiful. Don't get me wrong. The water was beautiful. The weather is amazing. The food is incredible. And the people, while polite, are not friendly, but that's just something you have to adjust to because I know people can say California people ain't friendly. But the folks were very polite and helpful. Considering we don't speak any Portuguese, they were very helpful. And most of the people that we came across in the Algarve did speak English because they have, high tourists in that area. So we stayed there for 7 days. And again, it was amazing. Little different than what I anticipated. It is, Portugal overall is an older country. So coming from America, we have to get that mindset, change that mindset about how things are supposed to be. So I had to adjust my own mindset and say, okay, this is not California, this is not America. So we're gonna have to rethink how we think about another country, especially if that's the country you're, potentially looking to move to. So we were there for 7 days and then went to Lisbon, and stayed there. I wish I would have stayed there a little longer. We were only there 3 days. I think for Lisbon reminds me so much of San Francisco, except much cleaner. And the people are, again, very polite. The prices aren't astronomical like San Francisco. So, but
San Francisco right now is a hot mess.
But it was very congested, very crowded. They have trolley cars. They have buses. I mean, Uber, Bolt. They have a great transportation system.
Okay, what is Bolt?
Bolt is, I guess, their equivalent to Uber or Lyft.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we were there. We came in on the train. It was a 4-hour ride from Faro to, or 3.5-hour ride from Faro to Lisboa. So of course, when we got off, now this is a train station in a very metropolitan area, so it's busy. It was just busy. But we made our way to find Bolt and got to our Airbnb. So and another thing, I kind of wish our Airbnb had been closer to more centralized activities and restaurants, but it was okay. We were able, because Bolt was very inexpensive, so it wasn't a problem catching Bolt to have dinner and so forth.
Okay.
But yeah, Lisbon is very congested, very crowded, and of course, not knowing what areas, like we live in Oakland, and you have different areas of the city we live in. And if you don't know the city and you end up in one part of the city, that can kind of say, okay, is this what the whole city is like? And we have to remember that because you're in one area of a city,
Mhm.
that's not what the whole city is like.
Yeah.
You just you just happen to be in that part of the city that might not be your particular taste.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we were able to get boat. We were able to drive to or get to the marina.
Mhm.
They have a port, just like we have in Oakland, not as big, but they
Mhm.
still have a nice sized port.
Okay.
They have where our Airbnb was, we saw their Golden Gate Bridge.
Mm.
So they have a bridge that goes across the river to another city, which we didn't get to.
Mhm.
Um,
And
and
you said that one of the boat drivers told you that they actually modeled that bridge after the Golden Gate? Yeah.
after the Golden Gate. So,
Okay.
like I said, and like I was telling you, it reminds me again so much of San Francisco,
Mhm.
minus the dirtiness, minus all the homelessness
Mhm.
that we have out here. And it's but the buildings are much older, and that's another thing. I mean, there were cranes everywhere, and they're upgrading and they're building new apartment complexes because I guess they anticipate a huge flux of people. I was reading something, and I think, and don't quote me on the exact number percentage, but it was something like over 200%
Oh.
of their population has grown because people are leaving the states and
Mhm.
moving there.
Mhm.
So there has been an influx of people
Mhm.
retiring and moving to Portugal.
Mhm.
So that, it's very interesting. So the apartments and everything are getting, the ones that we were seeing are getting some facelifts, and they're building new. Looks like they're building new structures too. So
Okay.
they're growing, and they're updating, their city.
Okay.
So my thing, now that I've kind of given you a background of where we were, I wish I would have stayed in Lisbon a little longer,
Mhm.
just to really get to know the area and even go outside the area, because there's this one city that's right outside of Lisbon.
Mhm.
I might not be pronouncing this correctly. Cascais. I'm probably pronouncing it incorrectly, but it's supposed to be 30 minutes away from Lisbon, and near the beach, and so it's a much quieter environment.
Mhm.
So, and then I wanted to, I wish had the time to go over across the bridge to
Mhm.
see what that city life was like.
Okay.
So I will have to take another trip. I hope you go with me.
Mhm.
We take take a trip to Lisbon. Excuse me, to Lisbon,
Mhm.
and then be able to even go up to Porto and see what that's about. That's a little further out. I don't know much about that area, so that's something I would have to visit and see. But for me, it's also important to have community around.
Mhm.
Especially if we're going to be doing this at separate times, if I'm going over there or wherever, even if it doesn't end up being Portugal. Right now, Portugal checks off all my boxes
Mhm.
when it comes to where to live outside of the United States. But even if it's not Portugal, and I have to go first because Pierre has things that are going on,
Mhm.
and it's important to have that community, so I'm not feeling so lonely and lost without him. To have that community of people who understand where I'm coming from, especially being American,
Mhm.
who are black expats. It's very important because you
Mhm.
need to have that community that can understand who you are
Mhm.
and your culture. And then
And while you were there,
yeah.
you did get a chance
Oh,
to.
yeah, I did. I did. I got a chance to, Halisi and Rick of Our
Mhm.
Black Utopia put
Who
on a
who we've had on the show before.
yes, we have. I got a chance to go to they had a, meetup for, Black folks who were just coming through who were also interested in possibly living in Portugal. So I went to that. And
Mhm.
then there was another one for Juneteenth that
Mhm.
they had put on by Black in Portugal,
Mhm.
and that was really nice too. Beautiful, just everything about Portugal, even in Lisbon, was very relaxing. The food is amazing. I didn't have any stomach problems while I was there. And I mean, this goes for cappuccinos. I like my coffee. I usually don't drink milk. I would have with oat milk, but I had it with milk there. The food, like I said, was amazing. It's very small portions. I know I digressed over your question,
It's
but
all right.
small portions of food, but they're very filling. The food is very good. And the cost there, I'm just like going, huh? There was 3 of us eating, and on average, we would have, coffee, um, fresh squeezed juice, smoothies, our main course, and at the most, I think the most expensive bill that we had was $60 for all 3 of us. For all 3 of us, and a couple of times, one of my with a friend of mine, she had 2 beers. And at most it was $60 for all 3 of us. So the food prices we bought, fresh. We went to farmer's market and bought fresh fruit and vegetables, and I came away with 2 bags for $15 of fruits and vegetables. So it's very inexpensive, and the quality of food is very good. Bought and I'm sure people have heard this, on other channels, but bought eggs and left them out, sitting out for a week. The week that we were there in Faro, set them out, ate them, they were fine. So it's just a whole different culture, a whole different lifestyle, which, yes, you have to get used to coming from America, or probably coming from anywhere, but particularly coming from America, and learning how to deal with the different culture, not expecting to come over and looking for everything to be Americanized, because that is not the reason anyone, or expectation that anyone should move from America and expect another country to be like America. Then why are you moving? Just stay in America. So, but then, yeah, the Juneteenth with Black in Portugal was very nice, and just the folks that we met there were just very warm, very engaging, and it felt like, okay. And I had to ask myself, because when I first got there, especially in Faro, I wasn't expecting too much, because I did understand that it was a beach town, so I wasn't expecting like, oh, this would be it. But when I went to Lisbon, at first I was a little disappointed because, and maybe in my own head, I was still having that American thinking, which is, I mean, I'm going to, because I've lived all my life. But I think that's why I said I want to spend more time out there, because I don't think I gave it enough time to say, yes, this is a place where I could call home, even if it's only for 6 months out of the year, which we've talked about, doing 6 months there and 6 months, so he can still continue to do his music and not, lose touch with, grandkids and our children. But I think I need to give it more time. I do honestly, on the surface of everything that I saw, and the way the way the city was set up, and yes, the congestion. So Lisbon wouldn't be a place I'd want to stay and live, but at least it's a place you can go. They had sip and paint, so, and there's a great community of Black expats in Lisbon. And as long as I can get there, if it's only going to take 30 minutes to get there, then I would look at the surrounding cities of Lisbon.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but, and I'll have to admit that it was hard being away from you, because also it wasn't like, okay, this is just a vacation. I knew what I was coming there for. So when and thinking about that, I'm saying, oh my God, would I be able to live, even if it's only, I can come back and forth, but even if it's only a couple months, out of the year, living without you, because we've been together and living together since forever and ever. Could I do this? And part of me is like, hell no, I couldn't do it.
Mm,
But the other part of me is like, look at the long-term goal of
mhm,
this.
mhm,
Don't look at just right now what's going on, but look at the long-term goal
mhm,
of what we would like to do. And that's, to be able to have the option of living in another country.
mhm.
Um, and and just experience a different culture, and not just get so set that America is the only place to be, because it's not by any means. so
No.
so
And it's turning into the Titanic. It's just
it is, it's sinking. And I just want to have the option, and you have the option, and even our kids, if we have passports or have residency somewhere else, to
Mhm,
be able to, if they want to be able to bring our kids over. So that's the way I look at it. And short term, yes, it's going to be a struggle wherever we end up. It's going to be
mhm,
a struggle because I'm so used to you being there.
mhm.
And so for me to find my community is going to be vastly important. It's going to be one of the most important things of what I'm looking for when I move.
Yeah.
And then when you come over, I want you to be able to have, a group of Black men that you can, relate to and hang out with.
Mhm.
And, because you're leaving what behind.
Yeah.
Um, but I look at it as a journey, and the option of, okay, you always have the option of saying, okay, that didn't work, let's regroup. But it's also good to at least try.
Mm.
So
Okay.
you have any other questions?
Mhm.
Did I tell you guys enough? I'm sure I'm missing a whole lot, but I'm still, yeah, I'm trying to stay alert.
Yeah. Like she's been the past day or so, she's been out of it,
Out of
in
it,
and
yeah.
out.
In and
And I
out, yeah.
mean, actually, both of us. Yesterday, we pretty much slept most of the day. So
Yeah.
I had a show the night that she came back. I had a show that night, and I had worked earlier in that day.
Yeah.
And then went from working, came home, grabbed my stuff, and then went
To the
to the
show. Yeah.
sound check and did the show. Got home at like 1 o'clock that night. So I had been up almost 24 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was right there with her. We were both knocked out
Knocked
yesterday.
out. So, babe, now what are your honest thoughts? You
Mm,
get to tell the folks, because we have lived, um in the beginning of our relationship,
mhm,
we were long distance. Our relationship was long distance for about a year.
mhm.
And after that, we've been inseparable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how are you feeling about this whole
Um.
possible change? I'll say possible because nothing's written in stone right now.
No, nothing's written in stone. No, I'm torn in between. Like I
Mhm.
said before, well, we already know I'm not going anywhere while Pops is,
Right. Right.
uh, Pops is still here and kicking. Um,
Pops could also go with us. I think he would love the low prices.
he would probably love the low prices, but he would drive us stone crazy. I'll be trying to leave, and I'll be like, "You and your father-in-law could stay here. I'm going back because he's driving me stone crazy."
He drives you crazy here. What's
I
the difference?
know, but
At least
just
out there it'd be cheaper crazy and
yeah,
more relaxed.
he loved the cheap part, especially the part with the tipping.
Right. I don't have to tip. No, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hey, I said Pops is cheap when it comes to tipping.
I would still be like, Pops, you got a tip. You got a tip. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, but that's it, and then leaving the kids, my mini me, Tia, she, like I said, she calls me every day.
And she could
So
call you every day in Portugal.
yeah, but it's
We
different. I
don't
think
see
what it
I
is
mean,
she knows the fact that I'm right here. So if she needs me, I'm one city over, which really ain't that far of a city over. So
yeah.
she just
Yeah.
she knows that. And then I don't work that I work not too far from her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can always get off work and be at her house in 5 minutes. So
Mm,
she knows this. So she's
yeah.
comfortable with that.
Yeah, exactly. They
You
have to get
know.
out their comfort zone.
Yeah. Now the
Unless
other
unless they want to financially take care of us,
uh,
where so we not cutting into all our
now the other two, the older ones, it'll be a little different. They're a little different because I mean I hear from Jasmine more than Tyler. He'll check in with us every
right.
now and then,
But
but
we really don't see the kids that often.
no, we don't.
We don't.
But
So
it's the
I
fact
know
of
it's the
them
fact.
knowing that we're there when they need us, if they ever need us. That's just
I
how it
understand.
is.
No, I understand. Those are your feelings. See, and my feelings are a little different. I love my kids dearly. Don't get me wrong. I
Mhm.
do. But I'm getting to the point in my life and a certain age where I'm
Mhm.
like,
Damn them kids. That's what she like. Damn them kids. I raised them, and I did all what I did, and now it's my time.
it is. I'm sorry. Yeah. The only one that, I really could not live without is him,
Mhm.
and I know that's again going to be an adjustment, and I know it's only temporary,
Mhm.
but I mean, he's been, like I say, kids, we expect our kids to grow up and move on and have their own lives. That's what we expect from them. And that's
Mhm.
what we raise them to be, independent and go and have their own life. And if my kids were to turn around and tell me, "Hey, I got this amazing job in, Timbuktu,"
Mhm.
then I'd be like, "You know what? You got to do what you got to do because that's the way we raised you."
True.
And so for me, I'm at that point where, like, okay, we've done that. And now it's time for us to have our own adventure. And again, this adventure could be only 6 months out of the year,
Mhm.
9 months, whatever, that there's that flexibility.
Mhm.
But, for me, the kids are not the utmost concern
Mhm.
because they have their own lives now.
Well, then the other one too is the grandkids.
Yes, I would miss my grandkids
So,
dearly, but that's what there's FaceTime for.
mhm.
We come back for holidays and visit and stay for holidays, and that's the great part about being a grandparent and being able to have the funds because you're living somewhere that's not as expensive to
Mhm.
say, okay, we're going to spend 6 months out here
Mhm.
and take the grandkids or do whatever and spend that time with them so that we don't lose touch. So it's not like you go to another country and you disappear and be like, okay, that's it.
Mhm.
I know. It's gonna take him a little more time to convince,
One
but
more time.
I think once he gets into
Well,
an
then,
area where he can just relax and be at peace,
see
we'll
the
see.
other part of it
What, baby?
is
Your
once I get out
music.
there, yeah, my music. I'm
Well,
doing. I've been.
someone who's living in Portugal, hopefully, if you're listening to this, would you please tell this man that they have music in Portugal?
I'm not saying they don't have
That
music in
he
Portugal.
would just have to learn how to do. It would just broaden your your talent of learning how to play something different. But and
Mm,
yeah, that's another. I know that's another area where your concern is your
yeah.
music, but you never know until you try it again. We compromise on the 6 months out of the year. You come back here when the gigs are in a certain time frame and say, okay, from June to whatever, or January to June,
Mhm.
you're gigging in the States, and then from June to or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Mhm.
But I'm just saying. Or from July to December, you gigging. And then from January to June, we're out there. Anyway, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
But yeah, so I know I get your concern. And I
Mhm.
understand.
Yeah.
But you ain't leaving me out in them Portuguese streets by myself. Not for long.
Out in them
Nope.
streets, be out in them
Out
streets,
in them streets.
in
Nope.
them Portuguese streets with
Nope.
the
No. With
cobblestones.
the the cobblestone. Driving on the cobblestones. That was an adventure. I'm like, don't you can't have no heels on. You better have
Mm,
flats on. And sometimes them cobblestones, because it was raining a little bit. they get slippery.
Yeah,
They
slippery.
get slippery. So you got to have some good insurance because
Yeah.
you get slippery out there.
Get the bounce and get
Yeah.
once you slip, you better hope you got a lot of butt back there, so you fine.
Shut up.
Hope you got a lot of butt and you land.
Anyway, anything else, baby, before we wrap this up? And if you guys have questions, I mean, I don't have a whole lot of answers. That was my first time going to Portugal.
Mhm.
When I go back, I'll have more, I'll be able to, because I'll know a little bit of the lay of the land, but, I'll have a better idea of what I'm looking for, where to go and scout those out. And I'm going to make sure he goes with me because he has to see it. He does have to see it. So,
Mhm. It's got to be a downtime when I don't have no gigs or
or you
no
just
studio
don't,
stuff.
or you just gonna have to take the time. Period. Anyway. Anything else, baby, before we head on out?
Nah, I think that's it.
That's
I
it.
think.
So if you guys who are living in Portugal have information, school me. I don't mind being schooled
Yeah.
because we're learning a lot.
Mhm.
I'm listening to a lot of other folks couples and single folks who are Black in Portugal.
Yeah.
So, but hey, if you guys have some knowledge, some wisdom to hand on over here to tell us, please leave some comments. I'm more than willing to,
Yeah, let me know about the music out there.
Yes.
I mean, see, I'm a big funkster, R&B. I mean, I do rock too. I'll do all that stuff, but
he can learn
and blues.
He can learn other stuff because he's multi-talented. He can learn other stuff. So. All right, baby.
Yeah, let me know. I did hear though that Nelly Furtado is from Lisbon, and I did hear that Madonna used to live for a good little while in Lisbon.
Lisbon or Portugal? What?
In
Lisbon itself. Oh, okay.
Lisbon.
Okay.
Both of them. So
Okay.
that's one of my supervisors is Portuguese, and he was telling me all this, and he said they're the ones that actually put Lisbon really like on the map.
Okay.
As far as international and all that stuff. So,
okay. Well, hey, there you go. So,
yeah.
Anyway, y'all, thank you so much for joining us. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. So if there's, when we bring you content, if there's anything you like about our content, or anything that is of value to you, please remember to subscribe and like our content. It really does help us help us build this community. Help us help you. All right, y'all. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.